Then find that comfortable seat. Allow your eyes to close. If you feel like you need a little bit more grounding energy, go ahead and turn your palms down. If you feel like you need a little bit more energy to come into your body, you're feeling a little bit more lethargic, turn those palms up to receive a little bit more. Just take a full inhale there. And let it go. Allow yourself to arrive into the space, onto your mat, and into your body. Connecting with your surroundings, acknowledging the sounds, the smells, the temperature of the air. Just allowing yourself to become more present with every passing moment. You take a full inhale there. And let it go. Allow yourself to scan through that physical body today. Acknowledge how you're feeling. Acknowledging any sensations of fatigue, tenderness, injury. Be mindful of those areas as you move today. Allowing yourself to go into these poses with awareness, coming to your edge. Allowing yourself to breathe with intention, with mindfulness, as you drop into each of these poses. These are collective favorites of people that are here taking this class. So hopefully they become your favorite too. Taking in that sensation, that acknowledgement into your body as you're in these poses. And take a full inhale here. And let it go. Just check in with that mental, emotional body here. Acknowledge where your thoughts are. The emotions might be attached to those thoughts. Give all of those some validity, all of those some loving feelings. Anything that's going to be a distraction, let that go. Just allow yourself to drop more and more into the present with your mind, your body, and your breath. Really essentially creating this little space here, this little happy hour for yourself. Take a full inhale there. And let it go. Start to notice your breath. Just take that noticing that sensation at the tip of your nose. That slight cool air on the inhales, that slight warm air on the exhales. In this month of November, we've been working with that finding your balance. So a lot of our life is that go, 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 that yang, that fiery, that heat. So it's good that you're here now, finding that balance to that cooler side, that yin side, that slower side. So allow yourself to drop in there. Allow yourself to find that balance. And that balance might be between that ease and effort, not going too far past your edge, finding that place to sit in discomfort. Finding that balance between, oh, are we almost out of this pose, as opposed to, oh, this is a great pose to be in. And most importantly, just finding that balance of breath. Allowing that breath to be smooth and steady throughout the practice. We'll set that intention of finding our balance to open this practice with that sound of Om. Bring your hands to your heart center. Exhale fully there. Inhale. As you exhale, release your hands. Allow your eyes to blink open. And from here, we're going to take our block or our bolster or a towel, maybe both. We're going to lay it to one side of our mat. Let's start with our left side down. So our left side will be down, our right side will be up. And you're going to take that block or bolster, you're going to lay it on its lowest height. I like to have the blanket over top just because it gives me a little bit more support or comfort. And then take your other block or another pillow and place it where your head is. So it'll be on your left side. And then your left armpit, right? Like right in that little armpit, like your armpits to the middle of your ribs is going to lay onto that block. And so then your arm can reach forward the same direction you're looking. And then your head can rest on that block. So you can take it all the way down to the lower level. You can take it to that mid level. If you need your head a little bit higher, you can have that there. So you're laying on your left side. Your shoulder is not on the block, but that block is underneath your rib cage, closer to your armpit than to your side waist. And then kind of find that little sensation that does not feel good. So kind of rock maybe a little bit forward onto that block, or maybe a little bit, from forward toward your chest, or a little bit more toward your back. And you're going to find a little place, a little sensation that does not feel good, right? It's that little pressure point of some of those meridians that run along the side body. And once you find that spot, that's where you're going to hold. That's where you're going to rest. Take a few moments of breath there just to kind of notice that sensation. And if you feel like you need a little bit more sensation during this pose, you'll take that top hand, your right arm, and reach it over the top of your head and let it just kind of rest dangling over the top of your head. So that's going to just create a little bit more leverage, a little bit more weight in the upper body, causing a little bit more sensation here. So it's not a huge sensation, but over time, remember we're staying here for about 4 minutes, the sensation might become a little bit more intense. We have about 3 more minutes here. Just kind of notice how your breath can affect this pose. Finding that balance between that discomfort line and sitting with that discomfort with a nice, easy, balanced breath. Definitely working that heart and throat chakra here. The liver, the heart, the lung meridians, the gallbladder. All those meridians that run along that side body and in the arms. And if and when your mind starts to wander, just bring it back to those sensations happening in the body. And you can also use your breath to find a little deeper sensation if you're not finding much of an edge here. Maybe inhale to a count of 5, really expanding through the chest. Exhaling to a count of 5, just letting yourself release more over that block. Give about 1 more minute here. Take a full inhale here. And let it go. If that top arm is overhead, bring it down back to your side. And then start to take that top leg, extend it long, roll forward toward that left side. Press the top hand in, that right hand in, and sit all the way up. And just take a moment, notice how it feels to sit. Notice the sensations on that left side. Dropping into those sensations, that release of that compression, getting some energy moving through that left side. And then when you're ready, all you're going to do is just kind of roll yourself around to the other side. I'm just going to move it to the other side, so you don't have to look at my back side. And start to take that right side to the ground. Adjusting yourself so that you find that place a little bit higher up into the armpits, higher into the armpit than into the ribs, and then adjusting that block to whatever height's going to feel best for you. And then just kind of roll maybe a little bit toward the back body or a little bit more toward the chest. Somewhere along there, you're going to definitely find a place, a pressure point that has a little sensation. And throughout this pose here, you can even do that a couple times with that sensation, that kind of blockage of energy releasing. And if you haven't already, maybe that top arm starts to reach over the head and relax it. Just allowing yourself to open up a little bit more. Kind of notice as you're here, if you're holding any tension in any muscles, see if you can relax those, really drop down into the sensation of that softer body. The ligaments, the tendons, that fascia. Dropping into that rest and restore state. Another about a minute and a half here. Again, you can experiment with your breath, lengthening and deepening your breath here. Maybe exploring a little bit of motion to find another space that feels a little tight. Wherever you are, see if you can relax the jaw and the neck. Let those areas go soft. And take a full inhale here. Let it go. Put that top arms overhead, bring it down. Start to extend that top leg, roll yourself forward into your left hand, press yourself up slowly. Come up towards seated. Just kind of notice those sensations on that side. And then from here, we'll go into long-legged butterfly. But in order to release that, go ahead and take those arms up, reach them up, give them a little lengthen. And then maybe hands down behind the back, lean into those hands, roll the shoulders back. And hopefully those people at the back of the room had a chuckle with my cat going crazy. She was getting fed. And then, okay, long-legged butterfly. The soles of the feet are going to come together. You're going to be more of a diamond shape rather than the feet coming in super close. So you're targeting the knees and the ankles and the outer hips. If you feel like you need more leverage, like if you don't feel it with your feet flat on the ground, you can place your feet up on a blanket or something that's just going to give more targeting to that outer knees. But be mindful it's not going past your edge. And you're just going to start to round forward. So just start to roll the belly in, drop the head down, roll that head forward. You can continue to let the chin come to chest to allow for that spine to be targeted. If that's too much in your neck, let your forehead rest on something, whether it be your block, a bolster, your hands. Just dropping down here, there's this long-legged butterfly. Take a few deep breaths into that body. Depends on where you're tight. So it could be your hips, it could be your knees, it could be your ankles, it could be your spine. Okay. Yeah. So if that's if it's too much uncomfortableness, take a block and rest your forehead on the block. Yeah. Just that rounding sensation does target the spine. It targets those little ligaments and tendons along the spine. If you want to add in a little pressure point, if your thumbs are near your feet, your thumb is going to press right below the big ball mound. There's a little pressure point there. And then your first finger and second finger can press right in the webbing of between your first and second toes. There's a couple little pressure points there for the liver and the stomach meridians. So your first two fingers between the webbing of your first first toe and second toe, and then your thumb goes right underneath the ball of your foot. So that like right where it comes to the sole of your foot. Yep. And there should be like a little sensation that's kind of like, oh, that doesn't feel good. Once you have that, press on that, and it will go away, and you kind of wiggle around again, and you find another spot that goes, oh, that doesn't feel good. Stay with that. So we have another 3 minutes in this pose. So we are holding this pose a little longer. You've been pressing those pressure points. Go ahead and release your hands. Let go of those pressure points. We have about another minute here in this pose. Take a full inhale here. And let it go. Mindfully roll your spine up, stacking it into place. Let that head be the last thing to rise. Once your head is up, helping those knees up, either draw those knees into a little tuck position or extend them out long, whatever is going to feel best to you. And just kind of notice that sensation in the hips, the knees, the spine. And then I got all of your favorites, but I didn't put my favorite. So we're going to do my favorite next. Anybody take a guess? That's going to be at the end for sure. It's always my favorite. Mine's shoelace pose. I love shoelace. So take your legs out. If you need something to sit on, gather something. If your hips feel really tight, especially your outer hips, you can always pull it out. I like to place the blanket folded up where that little corner comes toward the direction that I'll be sitting, so that my little sit bones are right on the edge of that blanket. And then we'll take our left leg under. Our right leg's gonna come over, and we're just gonna kind of, I like to lift my hips to wiggle that top leg over. You might even need to slide more underneath. If it doesn't help you to have this bottom leg underneath, take that bottom leg straight, do half shoelace. Wow. Good, and then see if you can get your knees a little bit more closer to one another. So take those feet and walk them out a little bit. Definitely targeting outer hips, knees. We'll just pause here for a moment. So we're definitely targeting the legs here, but we're gonna do a little bit more things. We're gonna do the spine, we're gonna do lateral flexion a little bit. And in a moment, just enjoy this sensation. If you don't quite feel it, if you have a little bit more openness in your hips, they're less tense, the feet just kind of, eventually your feet will be like equal with your knees. Maybe. Mine will never be there. Then we're going to take a little side bend. So your right hand will come out to the side. Maybe a block is there. You either take your right arm out and keep it straight and drop your head toward your ear, or you bend that elbow and place that elbow either on the block or on the floor. So big sensation on that left side. And then you can increase that sensation. So ear to shoulder. You can take your left hand and either slide it behind you for a deeper sensation in the neck, if that's what you need. If you need more intentional stress on the side waist, top arm's gonna come up overhead again and let it rest over the top of your head. So kind of deciding where you need the stretch today, where you need that extra little discomfort. That place to energize and find energy flow. And settle in. We'll be here for about a minute. Take a full inhale here. Let it go. If that top arm is overhead or behind you, bring it out. And then slowly start to press yourself back up. Once you get up to center, bring the head back up to center. Just kind of notice that sensation. So we have another minute here with our legs in this position. You can stay upright, or you can start to lengthen your chest forward, maybe round yourself forward, drop your head toward your knees or toward the block. But as you round forward, if you feel like your hips start to lift up off the ground, press your hands down to sit yourself back into your hips. This pose of shoelace pose is definitely a grounding pose. It works that first and second chakra. As we do that side bend, it's targeting that heart and throat and third eye chakra. Definitely working all of the meridians when you do the seated, the fold, and the side bend. Take a full inhale here. And let it go. Then slowly start to draw the spine up again. Let that head stack up last. And then when you're ready, slowly unwinding the legs, taking that top leg out first. Grunting and groaning is totally appropriate. Taking those legs out straight and just pausing there for a moment. Oh. I think that's my favorite. It gets into the places that I need most. The ones I don't do all the time. And then when you're ready, we'll go to the second side. So that right leg will go under or stay straight. That left leg will go over the top. And then the way I like to get into is I just like to press into my hands so that I can kind of maneuver my legs better. And then drop my hips and then decide if I need more space for my hips or not. And then start to adjust the feet again. Feet go wider if you don't feel much sensation. Just kind of sit with this pose for a few moments. Maybe as you're sitting here, if your block's not on your left side and you use it on the right side, move it to the left side. And make sure you have your edge for your legs. So you don't have to shift and shuffle a lot. Start to bring that left hand to the side. Maybe it starts straight and you kind of just notice how that feels on that right side. Maybe elbow can drop to that block. Again, there's lots of levels for your block. Take that left ear to the left shoulder. And then decide, maybe this side you're doing something different with that top arm. Maybe this time it slides behind because this side of your body on your neck, you feel like you need to release and let go. Maybe you need to take that top arm overhead for the sideways to release and let go. And we'll settle in here for just over a minute. Dropping in. Remember to honor your body anytime that sensation gets to that stabbing sensation, that place of going beyond your comfort zone or your little discomfort. When you past your edge, move yourself away from that just a little bit. Either upright your body, shift your hips slightly. But knowing that it's a place of discomfort, going past your edge, rather just that place of your edge. Right, so you have that place where you can sit and you can breathe into it. And then you have that other place where all you're doing is shifting and fidgeting. Take a full inhale here. Let it go. Mindfully take that top arm or that right arm out of wherever it is, either overhead or behind. And then start to press yourself up with that left arm. Bring your head back up to center and pause there. Make any adjustments you need to. And again, you might stay upright. Maybe this is where you want to be, or maybe you start to round forward, dropping a little bit more into the spine as well as deeper into those hips and knees. Your choice, your place. Just making sure those sit bones keep reaching back. You're not lifting your hips too much. Just dropping down forward. Just take a full inhale here. And let it go. Mindfully draw yourself up, allowing that head to be the last thing to rise. And then mindfully start to undo those legs. Let your arms help you. Taking any position with those legs. Just kind of notice the effect of that pose. Notice you can feel any different energy shifts along the outsides of the legs, the outsides of the side, waist, or hips. And then letting that go. Lean back, maybe rock the feet from side to side. And from here, we're going to go into sleeping swan. So like pigeon, but swan. So two different ways of doing it. Just ignore this bottom leg, but when you're on your front leg and you're lengthening forward, this foot, this heel is going to be right there inside your hip, and then or inside your sit bone, so inside of that glutes a little bit, and then your knee is going to be underneath you. If that just does not feel good, prop something under your booty so that you have less pressure on that front knee. So you have this, all this part is pressing into the ground, but rather than pigeon where we're rotating outwards, we're trying to keep that leg in a little bit more. So it's not really an external rotator. It's that pressure points of all those little meridians of the front shin. So that's sleeping swan. So you can take your right leg first, coming forward. So roll forward onto your hands and knees, and maybe have your block handy in case you need it, or your padding. And then just take that right knee, slide it forward. See how that feels. So if you need a little bit more support, you're going to place that support underneath your left thigh, right? So if I have my blankets face you, or I'm going to go this way, so that I'm on that left thigh, that's where I'd have that little extra support, so that I'm resting a little bit more on that left rather than on the right knee. And then as you feel comfortable, just continue to walk that chest forward. Maybe you come to your elbows. Maybe your forehead rests on a block and your arms reach forward. But try to keep that leg underneath your right side. Eventually we'll do like we did last time, and we'll let ourselves roll off of it if that's what we need. But we'll stay here for now. It's cramping. It's because your toes in that flexion or in that extension. So what you can do is just take the hand that's closest to it, and you can massage it so it doesn't cramp. Yep. Your body's just probably not used to that. It's normal in that deep extension of the foot. So that heel that's underneath you is kind of stimulating those meridians that run through that area, in the back of the leg and your groin. Definitely stimulating the first, second, third chakras, the roots to the solar plexus, the sacral, the solar plexus. And if your arms are extended, you're getting into that heart chakra a little bit. And then only if it's comfortable here for this last minute and a half, you can take yourself and take that front knee, keep it right. It's going to stay stacked, right? Knee and thigh are going to stay stacked. But you're going to kind of turn it out to the side, keeping knee stacked, and kind of let your belly and chest come to the inside of that. So your belly and chest come inside of your knee, but the knee and shin stay stacked, or I say the thigh and the shin stay stacked. That heel bone stays right there, connected into the upper thigh, upper hamstrings, the glutes. It's just a little deeper getting into that hip. I think we did this maybe 2 weeks ago. Maybe last week, I think. We did a lot of inner groins last week. And take a full inhale here. Let it go. Slowly bring yourself back up onto your elbows if you're not already. And then slowly slide those hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck your back toe, lean forward, and keep leaning forward, kind of heel toe or heel knee that foot in, and then slide that other. So you have options here. You can stay here, maybe do cat-cow. You can lay all the way down onto your belly, or you can do a downward facing dog. So whatever is going to feel good to you here to let that go. Let that go. And then mindfully in your own time, start to make your way to that second side. Allowing that left knee to slide forward. Walking that right leg back so you feel that heel and your glutes kind of touch. And then start to lengthen yourself forward. So that left side of your body is touching your left thigh. Your thigh and your shin are stacked. If you need that extra support, if it's too heavy, put a little support under that right thigh. This should feel really good on the right side, really allowing that right side to open now and finding that deep flexion for the left side. That extension of the top of the foot. And you can always stay here. We're going to take it a little bit deeper by keeping that shin and thigh stacked. You're just going to slide that knee a little bit out to the side. kind of like that child's pose leg, and then drop your chest forward. Just a few more deep cycles of breath here. Exhale fully here. Mindfully start to bring yourself up to those elbows if you're not there already. And then mindfully hands leaning forward as you tuck your back toe, lean forward, maybe do that a couple times. And then sliding that left leg. Either downward dog or all the way onto your belly. Take a few breaths there. Letting that go. And then as you're ready, mindfully press yourself back up onto your hands and knees. Do anything you need to let go of that pose. Maybe a little cat-cow. We'll come to seated so that we can set ourselves up for that reclined heart opener on our blocks. So the key to going deeper into that reclined heart opener, twofold. You have your block that's underneath your chest. So you can do it two ways. So if you have it this way, you have that evenness from your shoulder blades to the back of your neck. But if you want to go a little bit more into that upper back, you're going to make it the long way across your shoulder blades. So your shoulder blades kind of sit onto that shoulder blade, onto that block as you lengthen your head back. But if you want to have a little bit more lift, I tend to put it this way, and then I take my blanket and I place that over it. So it just gives me a little bit more lift. And then the second part is this block. Normally you have it on the top part of our head. I usually drop it down to the next level. So that's really just kind of taking this whole thing and opening it up over that block. So it's a big opener of the chest. And then once you are there, kind of fidget around a couple moments. Just kind of find that place. Keep your knees bent for now, just so you can kind of drop into it. Notice if dropping that block down to that next level is a little too much for your neck. Kind of wiggle into it, make sure your hips are on the ground. And then options, because this is a little bit more of an opener for the chest, so it's going to definitely target that low back a little bit. So you want to kind of lengthen the tailbone down a little bit, ground through those hips. And then you can either knock your knees in, take your feet wide, so that little mermaid pose, maybe that feels good in your body there, especially if you have low back problems. If your low back is feeling pretty good today, soles of the feet together, knees drop wide. And then arms are wide. Maybe you take the arms out shoulder height and make them wide and just let them drop down so they're not really touching the ground, but they're drawing down. So you find that discomfort across the chest, the upper back, the neck, the hips. And just breathe into it there. Really big opening for the front body. Just kind of notice where the mind goes here. Sometimes this can be a place where we feel a little vulnerable. I'm gonna be here for another 3.5 minutes. Really dropping in. Just kind of notice if you can deepen your breath a little. Let yourself surrender into this pose. Pushing the limits of your edge. Breathing in that space of discomfort. But finding that balance of discomfort and that thought or that likability of this pose. Many people in classes enjoy this pose for the opening, even though it can be a little bit intimidating to be so open and exposed. Balancing all that out. Allowing yourself to breathe into it for a few more moments here. Take a full inhale. Let it go. Take those arms, reach them back over your head. Just take a moment and reach the arms back. Feeling that length. And then start to bend the elbows, find the back of the head. And then using those arms to draw the head back to neutral, maybe chin to chest. And then releasing those hands. If your knees are wide, let those hands help those knees back up to center. Just kind of draw that chin to your chest, kind of round the spine. Let your hands rest on your thighs for a moment. And then using the backs of your thighs with your hands, kind of pull yourself up towards seated, either legs bent or legs straight, and just kind of pause there. Noticing the sensations on the front body, but maybe even more so on the back body where that block was. Along the spine or along the shoulder blades of head. So for our final pose, we're going to go into legs up the wall. If you are not near a wall space, you are more than welcome to do bridge pose, that supported bridge pose with the block under your hips. Vanessa, you can slide up here if you'd like, or you can use that one, either one. If you want to slide up there, or I'll slide this way. And you're going to bring your mat next to the wall. I usually like to have my blanket over me here a little bit just for some support. If you want to find a little deeper edge with this pose, you'll place that block underneath your hips. Taking those hips as close as you can to the wall. And then hardest part is dropping down and letting those legs go up the wall. Finding your place of comfort here. So if you want to intensify that, your hips are at the wall, you're going to take that block either the mid height or the highest height. Lift those hips by pressing into the wall, and then you might need to get a little bit closer to the wall so that your hips can drop down onto that block. And then arms are either by your side or on your belly, or maybe even resting up overhead. You have many different options here. Take a few deep breaths just to let yourself drop into this pose. You feel like you need to move some energy in the feet. Sometimes I like to squeeze my toes to kind of compress all those meridian start points and end points in the feet. And then I like to spread my toes. I like to do that for a couple breaths. I inhale and I hold. And then I exhale and I hold. Doing that for a few rounds if that feels good. Just to kind of move the energy through the feet. Those starting points and ending points in the toes correlate with spots in the top of the head, in the chest, and in the hands. Just imagine kind of pumping that energy flow, getting that energy to flow through those meridians. Maybe starting to feel the alignment of the chakra. Feeling the sensation of that red root chakra, that yellow sacral, or the orange sacral, the yellow solar plexus belly, that green heart, the blue throat, that purple third eye or forehead, and then that white at the top of your head, the crown. Full inhale here. Let it go. Just kind of notice how you're feeling here. If you feel like you could stay here for another 3 minutes, our Shavasana time, stay here. Maybe you need to take the block out and just have legs up the wall. But kind of decide what you need. If you are done in this pose, you'll bend your knees, take that block out. You'll continue to bend the knees into the chest. Those that are staying there, enjoy that sensation. Those that are coming out, just allowing those knees to bend in, noticing the sensations in the feet. And then those that are coming out, roll yourself over onto your left side, as long as there's space, if not, to your right side. Stay a few moments. And then your choice, either pressing yourself up to a seated type of Shavasana or lengthen yourself out onto your mat. You'll have options, so either on your back or up towards seated. Allow yourself to take whatever position feels best. I'll bring us out of this final position with 3 bells. Take rest. Allowing that next breath to come in a little bit deeper. For those that have legs up the wall, still mindfully start to draw those knees in and down. Those that are on your back, start to bring some motion into the fingers, the toes, the wrists and ankles. And maybe give yourself a long stretch from fingers to toes. Drawing those knees in. Doing a little windshield wiper legs, just opening through the hips. Finding a little rotation in the spine. And then when you're ready, mindfully make your way all the way up to seated. Once you're back at seated, once again, either palms down or palms up. Just take a few moments, arrive into the space, onto your mat, into your body. Acknowledging any little subtle shifts and changes from this practice tonight. Physically, mentally, emotionally. Just notice, no judgment, just noticing. Noticing the balance you've created in your body and mind. And we'll seal this practice in with that sound of Om. Bringing those hands to your heart center. Exhale fully. Inhaling here. Bowing your head slightly. Taking a moment, think of one thing in your life you truly are grateful for. Hold on to that image in your mind as you raise your head. Thanks for being here tonight. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you.